good evening, good morning, and good night, depending on specific time zone that you are into. And first of all, thanks for spending your Saturday evening, morning, or afternoon with us. And we have like put in a lot of effort in terms of curating these four series bootcamp, and we are super excited and super confident that it will end up, delivering a lot of value. So, okay, let's get started. I'll just give a quick introduction about myself. So you could see from the name tag, yeah, my name is Akhil, and I have been in the industry for roughly about 8 years. I have almost 6 to 7 years of experience in product management, and my last two stint was at a company called Magic Bricks. It's an internet company, and the another one is Reliance Geo. Right, there I was working as a senior product manager. And then I think, yeah, from this Jan onwards, we have come in full time. Overall, this entire product space initiative, we have been doing it from last 4.5 years, right? We have, trained more than 10,000 plus learners and have upskilled and have helped a lot of folks transition as well to their dream roles in product and AI PM roles as well, right? So awesome. Let's get started. Let me, start with sharing my screen. Okay, I'll just give you one disclaimer. I would love to start all the sessions with a lot of interactions, right? So if you want to get maximum value from my sessions, I would just, request you to be please, engage in the chat, right? I'm sure all of you can see the chat-based interactions, right? And awesome. All right, so let's get started. So this is the module one of GenAI bootcamp, wherein we are going to talk about Agentic AI hands-on, and let's get started, right? 1 second. Okay, so first, let's look into this index. What we have planned to cover today. So we would look into foundations of agentic AI. We would also look into various ways like no code, low code as well. Like how can you use these platforms to build agents, right? And there are like different platforms out there in the market like Chatbase, Aniten, LangGraph, Langflow. Of course, I have not written everything because we are going to have these sessions tightly packed to 90 minutes, and that time has started already, right? So within the this specific time frame, right, we have planned kind of live agentic AI or AI agents building as well, and we would show you a lot of capabilities that you could get by joining our programs as well, right? So we'll talk about it as we go along. Awesome. So let's get started, right? And I'll ask you the first question. Can you tell me, have you created an AI agent earlier? And when I say have you created an AI agent earlier, I mean like, it's a decent one, like not connecting two blocks and you're done, right? So as in, created it in a way that it gives you confidence. No, I can do it now. Awesome. All right. Good to know. Good to know. Okay, Rian, you might have to stop scribbling through the screen. So yeah, thank you. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks. Good to know. Many of you are doing it first time. Okay. Now my next question is how comfortable you are on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 means like you're very confident and comfortable in building AI agents from scratch, right? So could you please type it in the chat? Awesome. We have folks at 4 5 as well, but we have more than 80% audience, less than 3 or 3. Awesome. Good to know. Thank you. Thanks, folks, for sharing that. Now, I think I have a fair idea and understanding in terms of when we will be doing hands-on, as in to how much depth and to what foundations we have to go so that you are getting certain wins home as well, right? Awesome. So now let's get started. Sorry, I got a call. Yeah. So before we get into kind of, understanding all about agentic AI, let's try understand that entire industry, AI ecosystem as well. Since many of you are in this session, one thing I'm assuming that you've understood AI is of now utmost importance, and it has applications across different industries, different domains, different roles as well, right? You would see from healthcare to finance to e-commerce to investment, right? Any other domain, you name it, you'll see the applications of generative AI, not only in the industries, but also, it has kind of, different applications across roles as well. For example, product management, marketing, growth, engineering, right? And there are a lot of companies still in the market who have not started building or deploying AI initiatives, right? And in fact, they've not integrated AI into their product roadmap, right? But that's like, for the time being. But you would definitely see in the upcoming kind of, months or quarters, right? They would definitely have to do it, because AI has definitely proved us one thing, that it has potential to improve productivity and reduce time to market for sure, across domains, across roles and capabilities, including kind of, helping your sales team make a lot of calls as well. We have built and we help our learners also build voice agents as well. So we are going to kind of, I'm going to give you one demo so you understand, like, how these voice agents and different type of agentic AI capabilities works as well, right? Now, many of you kind of, had a sense, like almost 2 years back, that okay, is PM roles, like RPM roles, getting stagnant? But I think AI has given it a new energy, and that's where you would see across industries, across, I would say, globe as well, right? AI PM roles are surging, right? And they are definitely kind of, growing in companies wherein, they have the tech first approach, right? So I'm not sure which company you are right now into, but if you are in this session, definitely you would have one thing understood, that AI is something which is definitely required to be upskilled. And okay, someone is doing scribbling on the screen. Okay, thank you. Yeah, you could also look at some of the facts which I've mentioned on the screen, and they are, from the credible sources as well, right? Awesome. Now let's get started, right? And let me give you a little bit of understanding in terms of the AI job market reality, right? So in 2025 itself, the counted numbers, right, which are in public media, right, are revolving around 60,000 layoffs across the company, across industry, right? In fact, TCS itself has laid off more than 25,000 employees. In fact, Indian companies were doing silent layoffs, but they were not, becoming vocal enough to avoid that media backlash, right? But then, yeah, it has came in the market. Now, in fact, in 2025, you'd have also heard Google, Microsoft, Intel. I'll talk about some of the companies which I have the data about as well, have been doing continuous layoffs, right? So what is the meaning of these layoffs, right? Does these layoffs means like these companies doesn't have the work anymore, or they are just shutting down the departments because, no one's paying for it, right? Or they are not adding value, right? So based on our understanding, our research, that is not the case, right? The work is still there. In fact, the work has increased, right? But with the help of AI, there are like a lot of redundant roles, a lot of repetitive roles that you would see in the market. They there are like, they could be totally replaceable, and that's what I think, that is a capability AI is giving, right? And if you're not someone who's upskilling, yeah, that is going to be a quite challenging in terms of holding on to your job and being competitive in the market as well, right? You could also see the, kind of overall surge in AI jobs, right, across domain. If you look into, right, from last year November to this year April data, this is like for the past 6 months types, right? So it's been continuously increasing, and that's not like only across product or engineering. This is like across all AI jobs, right? So this is, yeah, the data is in front of you. It's up to you when do you want to take that call of doing a proper upskilling, right? Now, these are the recent news that we have clipped from internet, right? If you read through it, like 2 lakh fired and counting, like across companies, Intel, Amazon, Microsoft, right? Microsoft have recently in April and May have done like 6,000 layoff. I think a quarter before May, they've also done another round of, I think, 10,000 plus layoffs, right? And there could be, some, rumors around they might be planning another layoff, right? You would have noticed recently, I think this week itself, Amazon has planned 30,000 layoffs, right? And if you read through the news, this is here saying 14,000, but there are some reports which are quoting numbers of 30,000 as well, right? So yeah, it's up to you which one you want to trust, but this is at least giving you the clear signal. If you have made your job relevant in terms of the, latest market trends, you would definitely, make a, I would say, I would say credible career in the market, right? But if your job is something which is repetitive, which is like, can be done by someone else, then it is going to be quite difficult to hold on to it, right? Awesome, thank you. You could also now look into, the total count of employees which got laid off, right, from, I think, till July. I think from August till July, right? And this is what the numbers looks like, and this is like across the globe numbers. Like in August, 41,000, till July, 45,000. And yeah, this number is like, okay, one more, I think, the harsh reality of the market that you would understand and see, that these are the reported numbers, right, which are already there in the market. But there have been, as I mentioned, a lot of silent layoffs. There are like a lot of, um, I would say tier one companies, mid-scale companies, right, who are not reporting their numbers in the public, but they are continuously laying off, right? And this is something, which at least till last week we have kind of made peace with it. Okay, now okay, all the layoffs which were supposed to happen, they've already happened, but now Amazon has dropped another bomb, so it might trigger another wave of layoffs as well. So yeah, let's see what's to happen, and all we can do is, like, only plan for a better career, right? Okay. This is more about like fastest growing job titles. You could see that AI product manager, if you are from product domain, right, is also one of the growing titles across the industry, right? And it is almost nearing 100%, right? Awesome. Now, yeah, this is something, just a graphical representation of how these requirements of new job roles is coming in the market, right? Roughly around 200% increase over 2 years, right? So this is overall the picture I wanted to give all of you, so that you understand where the industry is going, right? And if you're delaying your upskilling because you have a friend's party planned, or you have a trip planned, right, or you'll do it probably somewhere next year with next, I would say quarter, or a next year resolution, right? And I would wish you all the best, and we'll wait to see what happens, right? But at least the folks who have upskilled, they have seen immense potential and immense, I would say, increase in the outcome that they were able to do earlier, right? So that's what the context I wanted to set up right now. With that, we can start the learning. I'll just quickly look into the chat if there are any relevant questions that I would have to tap and look into. Just give me 1 second. All right, I think people are sharing their LinkedIn profiles as well. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, we will just get to learnings only. Just give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, awesome. All right, so folks, before we get started, let's do a quick recap in terms of the entire AI landscape. So, what artificial intelligence is? Simply, artificial intelligence is a state wherein if your machine is able to mimic human intelligence, that simply means that you have achieved the state of artificial intelligence, right? So, artificial intelligence over the decades have evolved into a detailed science. There are like it has in fact right now changed the entire landscape, how companies behave and work. So if you go deeper into artificial intelligence, then we go into machine learning. It is another subdomain of artificial intelligence, wherein we started learning from the data. Basically, we started identifying the patterns from the data. Guys, if you try doing these scribbling on the screen, I would not have any choice but to put you in the waiting room, right? So just request you to please, I'll just go ahead and summarize again. Okay, all right. Awesome. So I'll just summarize again. Okay. So we are now starting to learning phase, right? Wherein what artificial intelligence means is very simple. Artificial intelligence means, a state of the machine wherein it is able to mimic the intelligence level of the humans, right? That is what we can assume with confidence that, okay, your machine has achieved the, artificial intelligence, right? Awesome. So this has over the years now evolved into a, detailed science. Within artificial intelligence, we have multiple subdomains. We can start with machine learning. So in machine learning, basically we had started recognizing a lot of patterns from the data, and it has worked really well across linear pattern predictions or identifications, right? But the moment we have like, got a lot, or I would say huge data, kind of data sets and all, machine learning didn't give that great accuracy. And in fact, it didn't perform well on non-linear patterns, right? And that's where we have from machine learning moved to deep learning, right? So deep learning did really well in terms of helping us understand the concepts behind neural networks, which helped us identify the patterns of non-linear data. For example, identifying, let's say you've created a model wherein you're uploading an image of a cat, right? But your data is trained on the images of a horse, right? So your model could, could tell you that, okay, the image that you've uploaded, is it actually a horse or not, right? So wherein it started working around non-linear data, right? Within deep learning, then it has its own limitations in terms of like, it was not able to help you generate stuff, right? That is where generative AI kind of, as a domain has come in. And for generative AI, the paper of Google, I think the paper's name is Self Attention Mechanism, or the attention is all you need. In 2017, launched by Google, it has changed the game, which has kind of given us the totally different layout and the architecture of transformers, which is kind of the foundational block of the entire LLMs or the large language models that we see right now. So this is basically very basics of, or I would say, the bird's eye view of the entire AI landscape. Within generative AI, we have also kind of have seen the emergence of agentic AI in the last 6 to 9 months, right? So we'll not talk about, I think, machine learning, deep learning. We'll go ahead and talk about agentic AI. But before understanding the agentic AI, let's first try understanding this autonomy spectrum, right? Many of you would be thinking, okay, what this autonomy spectrum is. So I'll just give you a brief of it. All right, just give me 1 second. Yeah. So autonomy spectrum is a stage wherein we will try understanding. Okay, in different stages, machines have gained the autonomy, right? So the first stage of autonomy spectrum is humans in the loop, right? So what this means, like humans used to perform all critical tasks. We can take an example of, let's say, a standard car, right? So wherein let's say in 1990 we had Maruti 800, right? Wherein as a driver you used to handle like steering, speed, braking, and navigation. This is the first stage of the autonomy spectrum, right? The second stage of the autonomy spectrum is humans in the loop, right? So what this simply means, AI has started assisting humans with specific subtasks, but humans were still making key decisions and were taking actions. So for example, let's say I'm just following that cars example so that everyone is able to kind of overall relate with it. So let's say AI has given us the capability of like this cruise controls or parking sensors, right? Wherein you could set a speed of the vehicle in terms of the cruise control at a specific speed, and your vehicle will just follow the path. But if something is coming, you might have to take a call to kind of reduce the speed or increase the speed, right? And similar, I think understanding goes in terms of the parking sensors, right? Your cars won't act; they will just give you the information. Okay, something is, let's say, behind your behind the vehicle, right? You might slow down, things like that, right? So whenever that is happening, I would kind of definitely put it in the second stage of the autonomy spectrum. Now, from first stage, second stage, and then we have moved to the third stage, which means the humans in the last mile, right? So what this simply means, AI handles like a lot of tasks autonomously, but it also requires human oversight and intervention for exceptions and complex edge cases, right? For example, I'm not sure many of you heard in US there are like supervised parking slots wherein you just leave your car in that parking lot and it'll auto park itself in a specific bay which is assigned to it, right? But as a human, you can also kind of control it. You can stop it. You can steer it in a different direction, right? So that was the third stage of the autonomy spectrum, right? Now, the fourth stage of the autonomy spectrum is AI as operator. And this is the stage right now we all are into, wherein, what this stage simply means that AI is performing the entire task end to end autonomously, wherein, human involvement is minimal, or let's say mainly for handling system level issues or task level execution if there are any challenges coming in, right? And to take a vehicle example, we can understand, okay, this is more of a fully autonomous self-driving car, which is like operating reliably within a specific area wherein we have trained it on, right? Now, the last stage of the autonomy spectrum is AI in control, right? So what this specific stage means, wherein as a human, you don't have to do anything, but your AI would do, kind of almost everything. Okay, I don't know who is this person. It's just scribbled on the screen. Okay, guys, 1 second. Let me erase this. Let me see if I can disable that control. All right, I'll just probably do it during the break time, but just give me 1 second, guys. All right. Yeah, guys, please don't, kind of disrupt the flow. Like you're annotating. If you have a question, please drop it in the chat. I'll pick it up, or you can raise your hand, right? So that I know that you have certain questions and all, right? Awesome. So from the fourth stage of the autonomy spectrum, the future stage wherein we are hoping we would get AGI, wherein you can understand AGI as artificial general intelligence, wherein it'll do everything, right? As a human, you don't have to do anything. In fact, for the use cases you've not trained your model to, for the bugs, it'll kind of identify or rectify all of it on its own, and you can just go back to the eras of like 1800, wherein as a user we might kind of end up doing the farming again, because if AI start doing everything, it'll be difficult. But I think reaching this fifth stage, there's no science of it, right? It's a good speculation that we could reach it, because right now the generative AI version that we are using, there have been a lot of news in terms of, okay, are we in an AI bubble, right? So we'll not talk about it. We'll not go in that direction right now. But yes, we are far away in terms of reaching to the fifth stage of autonomy spectrum. But reaching to this stage have given us like a lot of confidence, and it has given us and shown us the ways to improve productivity and automate a lot of stuff, right? Awesome. So from here, we'll just move to kind of understanding the agentic AI definition. So I would just take a couple of queries. If anyone has it, you can drop your queries in the chat. I hope my screen is visible. Awesome. All right. Okay, Manda. All right. All right, no questions, right? Awesome. All right, now from here, now let's move to the next stage. Okay, next slide on the screen. Awesome. So, what is agentic AI? Now, let's try, understanding, this agentic AI basically, are type of an AI system that don't just think or generate content, but they act or take actions independently or achieve specific goals, right? So, basically, if you do the comparison of agentic AI, and if you try to better understand it, let's take a comparative view from LLMs, right? So what LLMs do, LLMs basically provide us the single response, or a single prompt to single response interactive system, wherein they are good for, let's say, chatbot interactions, or for any content generation and all. For example, let's say if you want to plan a trip for Goa, right, for 3 days, right, and if you want to do that, you'll simply write this as a query in your LLM, right? This could be a ChatGPT or a Gemini, whichever one you're using, right? So, but whatever you're doing, right, with that LLM, right, it is just staying within that specific ecosystem. So you can comfortably say that LLMs are reactive. They're only responding when you are asking something to it, right? But they don't have the capability to act on your behalf, right? So ideally, if you really want an AI to do a great job, you would want it to kind of do certain actions as well for you, right? Now, if you have to do a comparison with, like, LLMs for AI agents, you can understand, instead of LLMs, if you're using AI agents to do a certain task, right? Let's say that planning a trip. So what AI agents would do, they would simply go ahead, right? They would make a plan, right? They will first accept your queries, and then they would kind of do the reasoning, planning. They'll do all sorts of required stuff, right? And they will also go ahead and book the tickets for you, right? And once those tickets are booked, then they will also kind of send you the itinerary as well, right? So AI agents, like, are type of an AI ecosystems, wherein they are really helping you perform the task, and which is like, I think way better in terms of just getting responses on the screens, right? So AI agents are designed to make AI systems autonomous, goal-oriented, and multi-step, which are kind of capable of reasoning, planning, and executing tasks, right? So with this capability, definitely you can say that AI agents are something which is like proactive models, right? On the other hand, LLMs are just reactive in nature, right? So what I have to, let's say, take another example to explain you what AI agents is. AI agents are, I can take one, infamous analogy of restaurant and waiter example, which many of you might have looked into while someone have tried explaining APIs to you, right? So let's try understanding components of agentic AI, or what critical layers it is, it is required to kind of, ensure that your AI agents are able to deliver something or act upon something, right? So let's say you went to a restaurant and you ask, hey, can you give me a veg pizza, right? So you are giving this order to a waiter, right? So what waiter is doing first is observing, right? They are accepting your request, right? And what next they are doing is reasoning and planning. So once you have given that request, what waiter would do is like, okay, waiter would think first, okay, do we even have this veg pizza on the menu or not, right? If it is, okay, awesome. Now which kitchen to go? Should he go to veg kitchen, or should he go to non-veg kitchen, or where should this waiter go and give the order, so that the chef would start preparing for it, right? Once chef would start preparing for it, then once the order is prepared, then this waiter has to bring it back, right? So this is something which is happening in reasoning and planning, right? If the reasoning and planning giving an indication, okay, this is something which can be acted upon, then this waiter would go ahead and take that order, give it to chef would start preparing it. Once the food is prepared, then the food would be served back to the customer, right? So this is the another, I would say, way to look into, okay, how agents are functioning, what all critical capabilities they have, right? First is observation, second is reasoning, third is kind of acting. Reasoning and planning basically is a pre-step towards action, and this is the step which is going to tell your agents in terms of, okay, what to kind of act upon, right? And the fourth step, which is a learn is a step which is more of an optional, because not in all the AI agents flows you would always need memory, right? So learn simply means that, okay, if you want to save something of the current kind of conversation, or workflow that you have triggered recently, right? So with that waiter example, I can kind of try correlating it. So let's say you went to the restaurant fourth time, right? Now the moment you ask the waiter, hey, can you give me veg pizza, right? Now waiter very clearly understand, okay, what were your preferences based on first or second or third time kind of those instructions that you've given, right? So let's say you want a non-spicy pizza, if you want more spices, if you want any specific toppings and all, right? You would have given that, right? And once the order has come in, if you didn't like it, you might have also given a certain feedback, right? So the fourth time you are going again to the restaurant, they already have your history, they already have your data. If you have created this AI agent in a way wherein it is trying to learn from the previous interaction, then this time you don't have to tell again, okay, the same things, okay, this has to be this, but it'll always remember, what is it that you actually need, right? Awesome. So this is, I hope this is clear to all of you in terms of what are AI agents. We will also try understanding a little bit more about it as we go along, right? But reasoning is to Sarthak, understand whether your models have the capability to act on the information or the instructions which has given to, right? Once they can act on it, then they would start planning for it, right? Awesome. But just trying to if okay, I'm just looking into the chat now. Just give me 1 second. If anyone has any query, let's take a quick pause to take queries. All right. Rahul is saying this is a good example, but just trying to understand, if agentic can perform all this task, then what is the role of LLM here, right? LLM is trying to kind of understand. See, when you've taken that request, right? Someone has to decide what to act upon, right? Which kitchen to go to, right? Whether you have the, this request in your database or not, right? So once you've accepted that instruction, then your LLM is going to look into the menu, right? Okay, do we even have this pizza or not, right? If you have that pizza, then your LLM would tell, okay, go to this tool or go to this kitchen, right? And give this specific instruction, and this will start kind of doing that. I hope that is understood. LLM is the brain of the execution. Awesome. No, RN and CNN, we don't cover. We don't plan to cover in this. We have it part of our, advanced AI program. Advanced AI is a small version of AGI. Okay, guys, any questions? LLM. That's what, Rishi, we've tried understanding what's the practical difference of between LLMs and agentic AI or AI agents. See, LLMs are reactive in nature, right? They generally provide you a single prompt, single response window, right? Wherein you would just type something and they'll give you a response, right? But if you want, some form of an AI to act on your behalf, right? So how would that happen, right? So for that to happen, you would kind of need multiple kind of workflows. You would need multiple agents to do certain tasks and all. That is where LLMs are not able to perform that task. That's where the AI agents are coming. Okay, what is the difference between AI agents? Whatever I talked about generally, that is AI agents. AI agents basically are doing all these tasks which is mentioned on the screen. Agentic AI are type of systems wherein they are using AI agents to perform certain flows, right? So agentic AI is more of a let's say you've built an overall product. Within that product, if you've deployed one of the agent, then you can say that okay, this is an application of agentic AI. Okay, will we build AI agent today? Yes, we would try building it. What's the benefit of using agent AI compared to automations through JS? Okay, yeah, we will try building. What's the difference between? I think we've covered that. Is agentic AI a preset workflow? No, you can decide your own workflows. Can it? Okay, all right. Yes, it can go, in the defined directions only, Pooja. It will not go in the undefined directions. If it doesn't have the information, it will just, stop the execution. Awesome. Um, if I use anything to make a chatbot, do I call it agentic AI or any? Yeah, you can call it agentic AI. What's the problem in that? How big? Yeah. Okay. So I think we've covered roughly the required questions. Awesome. So let's move further. Could see that I would request folks to please do not annotate on the screen. Okay. I will just have to check with the team to disable it. All right. Now let's move forward. Give me 1 second. All right. I'll just move forward. And I'll take remaining questions in a moment, right? Awesome. So now let's try understanding the components of agentic AI as well, right? So it roughly have multiple components, and the first component is prompting. So prompting is where you are giving, user instructions. Basically, you're telling your agent, okay, what specific task to do, or in what manner you have to do it, right? And the second element is the LLM, which is the brain of the AI agents, right? So when I say brain of the AI agents, I think we've tried covering when you're getting a specific input from the user and you have certain instructions. So how to act on that instruction and how to come up with a plan. Okay, what to do next is something happening within this LLM, right? Brain, right? Now, tools are something which is designed to give additional capabilities to AI. So for example, let's say you want to build an AI agent which is giving you all the latest AI news or all the latest let's say job related news in the market every day, right? But you would have understood and learned that these LLMs does not have the updated data, right? A lot of these LLMs or these LLM versions are trained till 2023, or they are trained till 2024, right? So they don't have the recent information, right? So if you want them to act or get the recent information, you would need to kind of leverage the capability of a tool functionality, wherein you could probably ask it to do a Google search, or you can ask it to do basically call your Gmail, call your calendar, right? It can do multiple things. It can also call your database depending on the specific task and the use cases, right? And the second and the next important element or the component of AI agents is memory. So memory is something we have understood, right? So if you want to retain whatever happened in the previous conversations or previous workflows, right, you can use the memory to kind of keep the track of it. You can also give your agents an instruction if you want to leverage this memory for future automations as well, right? So memory basically helps you retain what happened earlier and improve your overall performance. Task is something when all of this has happened, when you have all the required information, right? The next thing that you would do is you would try executing it, right? So for executing something, you would also need to connect it to respective tools for to make it happen, right? Awesome. So this is more of components of AI agents. Now we can go ahead and look into different kind of industry wide use cases, right? So yeah. We can look into edtech, starting with edtech. Okay, you can have like personalized learning tutors, wherein they have built adaptive AI agents delivering one-to-one mentorship, progress tracking. Awesome. Automated grading assistants, evaluating assignments. You could also see the use cases across, use cases across e-commerce, insurance, real estate, healthcare, right? And all of these industries that you're seeing, you'll notice that many of our learners are also actively building projects around it. I'll show you, a couple of projects that our learners are building across this industry. So one of the previous cohort advanced AI team, they have built a skill hire AI product, and all of these projects they have built in like 12 days time frame. It's more of a full stack hiring ecosystem or a hiring product, which would help you kind of, as an HR, find candidates, do the first level of AI assessments, because generally you get like 2000 applications, and it's not like, easy for HR to go through all of those 2000 applications, right? So any one of you who wants to know more about these projects, I'll just drop those links in the chat, right? You could also, I'm just looking for those links. Just give me 1 second. Product space. Yeah, you could, yeah, one of the
There's a
project,
understanding about how to use.
yeah, one of the demo that we have done recently, I'm dropping that link in the chat, right? So please do check it out. How, okay, let me, all right, just give me 1 second. All right, I'll enable the chat because I think there's a lot of distraction happening in the chat, right? So we'll enable it at the right time, right? You could see that, right? And I also dropped that YouTube video link. 1 second. Any one of you who wants, okay, dropped it 2 times. Yeah, just delete once, right? And you could go ahead and understand like how our learners are able to build different agents and different capabilities, right? Now let's go ahead and 1 second. Let's do a quick demo, right? Awesome. So I need a couple of volunteers. I need like at least one volunteer who could, work with me. I'll just first give you a demo of our voice AI agent, right? So any one of you who can raise hand and who's interested to have a short conversation. All right. Let me see who has raised hand. Any one of you who is interested to, okay, Rishi, Karthik, Sanjeev. Okay. All right. So Karthik, can you unmute yourself? Hi, Karthik, you with me? All right, I think in the interest of time, let me only show it to you like, how this AI voice agent works. And then okay, so I'll just give you a overview in terms of how our further screen flow or the session flow would happen, right? We would now look into a couple of AI agents that we have built, right? And we would also help you understand like what all type of AI agents we are building in our sessions, in our cohorts as well, right? And then we will do a live agent building as well, wherein we will try kind of doing the tear down of one of the website pages, wherein we could try understanding, okay, how can you improve conversion of that landing page, right? Awesome. So I'll just go ahead and give you the demo of our voice agent. Let me just um, you know trigger that workflow. 1 second. All right, here it is. Voice agent. Okay. Okay, I'll share my screen so that you understand like what is happening. 1 second. Yeah, you could understand this is the form that we have, right? Based on this form, my workflow would be triggered. I'll add one of my number. Okay, Flipkart query. Okay, now let's see if I get a call. Okay, so this is something we are going to build today as well. So, okay, all right. So what this agent does, basically you can give it any website URL, and what it would try to do it'll do a entire detailed analysis and would try helping you understand in terms of how can you improve the conversion on your landing pages as well, right? So now let me give it a product space website, and let's go to this events page, and wherein you could see that, right, there are multiple events we are planning, and I'll just enter it, give it a site URL, and now you could see that the entire workflow has been triggered, right? So now I'll also see that which mail ID I would get the response to. Okay, this one. All right, now let it run. All right, still running. Why it is taking a lot of time? Because I have kind of, using this node, have collected the entire information of the web page. So, when you have like a lot of information, you would need like a lot of tokens to, you would have to waste lot of tokens to use AI to generate responses, right? And this is where the mail has been triggered. Now, let me show you the mail as well. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, you could see my mail, right? This is the mail that I have just received like 0 minutes ago. I'll just reload this screen as well. Yeah, let it load. Yeah, could see that, right? So 0 minutes ago, I've received this mail from this mail ID. So you could see that landing page audit, product management, and AI events, right? The product space, right? So I've reviewed a landing page, and basically, let me. Right. So you could see that, right? It has, did awesome roast. Tries double duty, lacks specificity. Yeah, yeah. It has given like a lot of, good information to act upon. All right. Message mismatch. Page load shows multiple preloads, but actual events grid is empty. So yeah, these are the recommendation it has also given you as well, right? Given us as well. So if you want me to act on in any specific website, I can also do that. And if you want to receive the mail in your inbox, I can also do that, right? So I think the chat would be, just enable the chat, right? You can add your mail ID and the website URL that you would want me to kind of, do the analysis. I'll just do it. We can do a quick trial because this is the agent we are going to build as well. So this is the way, that we do in class, right? So I'll just run these cells, and I'll explain as well what this agent does. So basically, this is a similar agent, but that we have done using Python coding. So if you look into this, is more of a N8N base, but N8N, have fixed ecosystem in terms of using the nodes and all. If you're using the codes, you get like additional capabilities. So we have run this. We have to run the cell now. Environment loaded. Awesome. All right. So, okay, now you can give it a query. How to improve the conversion of, let's say, the product space. For example, let me run this again. Yeah. So we are here using LangChain as an agentic AI framework, which would do the, which will basically help us connect with the OpenAI and give us the response back. So first, let's see that if it is working. Okay, it has run. Now you could see the answer. How to improve the conversion of this URL. So it has given the improving the conversion rate of this involves a combination of strategies focused on user execution. You could see that, right? Optimize user experience, enhance product pages, right? So the same thing that I was able to do it on my mail or get on my mail with the help of N8N. I can also do it with the help of VS Code and Python as well, right? Now, this is the another question which I'm asking it, like, you are a senior conversion rate optimizer expert, be practical. List 5 must-have mistakes which all companies should avoid for high converting landing pages, right? So now here's the answer. Here are 5 critical, and this is something taken from the AI, right? Now we can also do, yeah. And in the next step, this is more of a advanced one wherein we are asking it to read this PDF, right? Or use additional capabilities like web search to give us a better output, right? So yeah, I'll not go ahead and show you all of that, but because it could become, I think, a little overwhelming. But this is, I'm just letting you know to understand, okay, what capabilities and to what depth we go in the sessions to cover these, agentic AI frameworks. Why we are covering code-based agent building is a very simple reason. Let's say if you are part of the companies wherein there are limitations in terms of using N10 or ChatGPT and all, right? You will not be able to kind of, use these, tools, no code tools and all, right? But if you know basic Python, right, then you can at least write certain codes, basic codes for yourself to improve your productivity. In fact, if you know Python, you can also very well coordinate and work with data scientists as well. And that's where it comes really handy, right? So I'll show you, I think, a lot more agents that we do as well. 1 second. I'll just. So there are different agentic AI frameworks, right? So you could understand there are LangGraph, AutoGen, right? All of these frameworks that we use and build multiple agents in class, right? So yeah, I think is a good
Awesome.
time. Now we'll go ahead and we'll start building it together. Okay. So if you understand and if you've at least read about workflows, right? Every workflow needs a starting point, and that is something which is known as a trigger, right? So in the previous version of the run that we have done, you would have noticed that we have used some kind of a form to collect information, and once the information has been collected, then our workflow is running smoothly, right? So that is something which we're going to do again here. So the first node that we can use is form, right? So we can use anytin form. And what is the trigger on new anytin form event, right? So we're going to use that. Trigger is action which helps you initiate your workflow. Okay, we don't have to do any authentication here. We will just have to give your form specific details. So I just already have it written. After this session, we will also share you the detailed guide if you want to kind of follow that. Right, awesome. So I'll just copy paste. So this is more of a form title, form name, right? Basic details. And this is where you can add the form element, right? So your form first element is going to be your landing page URL, right? And the text, is the element type. You don't have to change it. If you want to, let's say, add any placeholder, you can give it as share your uh, website URL, right? And that is kind of good enough, right? And you can make this as a required field, right? So yeah, you can start responding when the form is submitted, right? Awesome. Basically, you'll have to initiate the further workflow when the form is submitted, right? So whoever is doing live with me, you can try adding these, kind of fields. Yeah, I'll go a little slow. I'll not go to the next node once you've done that. What I've done is I've just added the new node from the, this toolbar, right? So I've just clicked here, searched for form, and I've got it a trigger, right? And I've just given it a form title. You can give it any, you can also give it any description, and you can add a form element here, right? So this is where you just need one field, landing page URL, you can add it here, right? That's it. What after 15 days trial? Yes, I'm going slow only. Awesome. Summary of the lecture 2 in PDF. Sure, Rugbed. Zapier is already in the market since last. Why do we need to migrate to N10? These are the questions. Bhagav is not related to learning AI. I think you can get the better answers from N10. So it's like, Myntra is there in the market. Why do you still buy from Amazon? Amazon is there in the market. Why do you buy, kind of buy from Myntra or Flipkart, right? So there are like different platforms giving you the capability of performing, I think, similar use cases across the industry. Some companies would have different value propositions versus the other. Some would be, I would say, more dominant in a specific market. Before N10, Zapier was the most dominant player, but N10 was quick to grab on this AI wave. And yeah, and there was like a lot of widespread adoption, right? So they must have done something about it. So I hope that answers to a certain extent. Awesome. So now we have added this first form node. You can also change the name of it, right? So let's say CRO, or let's say website URL, collect website URL, right? So now what is the next step, right? Once you have collected a website URL, what you want to do, right? You want to kind of, get all the web page information, right? So let's say we want to, I'll go here on this node only, right? Let's say I want to analyze this landing page, right? To analyze this landing page, we need all the information which is there on this page, right? Otherwise, how would our agents know like what information to act? Because right now here we have just got the URL, right? And if you have a plan to kind of, simply send that URL to AI agent and your GPT would understand it. Please note that a lot of times your GPTs, they don't crawl the web pages as well, because there are like, some limitations in terms of accessing it, right? So it's good that you give them entire website content and let them access it, right? So how do you get the entire website content is where you use the HTTP request node, right? You click on that, right? You don't have to do anything. You simply have to execute the previous node, right? So to execute the previous node, you have to click on execute workflow. It is showing certain error in terms of executing. What could be the error? One second. It's a primary node, right? Okay, let me delete this. Let me run this now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and we will add this URL only, all right, and submit it, right? Now you could see that my node one is having the details properly. Now I'll go ahead and add that HTTP node, right? Which would help us get the information from the website, right? So we are using the get node because this is more of an API call that we are making, right? And endpoint is something you have to add your URL here, right? And you don't have to use any authentication. The simple flow. I'm just going like, in easiest possible flow that we could go. So, and from here you could go ahead and click on execute step. Right. Now you could see that your entire information in HTML, CSS, you have received it here, right? And of course, how do you make sense of it, right? You'll not be able to understand it. Of course, there will be, certain English text, certain HTML, CSS connotations and all, right? You could see these divisions, classes, right? So we don't understand it, right? It's like a lot of information. Yeah. You could see that, right? Okay. Now what you want to do is like, now you want to use an AI agent, right? Which would kind of, take your instruction and take this specific data and then give you the specific output, right? And that is where we're going to use the AI agents. So I'm going to use AI agent. I'm just search for AI agent. I'll just get this node, right? And I'll just click on define below, and in define below, I'll just go ahead and use I would say a detailed prompt, right? So I already have that prompt, so I'll just copy paste that. One second. Yeah. And you could see that. Let's look into this prompt as well, right? So you're a world-class conversion rate optimization expert who advises founders, CMOs, and growth leaders on landing page performance, right? This is more of a, telling us like what role you have to wear. What is your objective, right? Basically, audit the provided landing page, identify issues that hurt conversions, and explain why, things like that, right? And you've also given it the style, must cover directions to think, right? What all things you have to definitely look into. And this is more of a detail prompt that we have built in house. So depending on your use case, you can go ahead and build your own prompt. This is more of a recommendation. What is the output? And this is where you have to give your input field, right? Otherwise, if you'll just run this, it is going to give you the same output, right? But you have to drag and drop the input of the data that you have of the website, and all the input variable that you would load, you could also see the output here. You're able to see that, right? And now I have mentioned, okay, in this is the format in which I would want the output, right? Awesome. So now I'll just go ahead and run it. Okay, no, it won't work because I've not added a chat model to it, right? So I will go ahead and add an OpenAI chat model, and I already have that collected. I'll use GPT-5. And many of you who doesn't know why I'm using GPT-5, you can do a little bit of research on it, right? But to just give you the context, if I'm using the older model, right, their tokenizations or a TPM limits are less than 30,000, right? I'm not sure if they've recently increased it. If I'm using GPT-5, I think it's more than 30,000, right? So if If you have a, let's say, longer data, right? You would need more tokens to use or use AI to get the generate to basically use AI to generate better output and all, right? If you have a small amount of data, you can use the previous models as well, right? So for a, I think, better outcome perspective, and your model is capable to get the, I would say, longer context window data, I'm using a GPT-5 model. Now if I would run it, it should work. Okay, now, yeah, it's running, right? Yeah. Let it run. So basically, it is now giving your output to GPT, and your GPT would act on your instructions, the ones that you've given in the prompt, and accordingly, it would act on it, right? There's one more way to give these instructions. And so I've given the entire instructions in the user prompt only. So instead of giving this detailed prompt here, I would have also added a system prompt, right? You can add a system message from here and just pass only the input data from the user message. So if you want to, get build a better systems, this is one of the way you can try building it out, right? So let it wait, right? Okay, awesome. Now you could see that your agents have also run it. You can double click on it and you could see that, okay, now it has given us the output, right? Okay, now what we will do is, like, we have the output. What is the next step, right? We want to send it to a Gmail, right? So yeah, send a message. Might face one query here. I don't know which mail it is. Okay. You can give it, okay, summary of landing page analysis, right? And whatever is your output, I'll just receive it in my mail. I'll just add one mail ID which I have handy. Let's say if it runs operations and all, you can do multiple operations. I want to now send this mail. So just give me 1 second. I'll show you what the output I have got. Okay, I'll share my screen. You could see that, right? It is showing the output in this manner, right? So you could try reading it out. Quick CRO rows plus fixes. Hey team, I audited your product space homepage. You've got strong assets, but the hero offer clarity. Okay, whatever this is, it is. You could also see that roast, basically, headline market fit. Is generic, not PM specific, no differentiation, no proof. Yeah, just trying to give us good recommendations, right? You could also see that, telling us, like, what all you can further, improve upon, right? But now the challenge in this is, like, it is not well structured, right? It is not, kind of in a way that you could send it to your manager and all, right? It's not properly structured, right? For that, what I'll do is I'll simply add one more code node, right? And this is something, um, whoever understand Python would understand this, right? I will just go ahead. 1 second, yeah. You don't have to understand this node much, but I'll tell you what this node does so that you know what it is doing. Okay, now let's run it up. Yeah. You could see that, right? See, this is the output that we are getting. Like, the GPT is giving us the output in one variable, right? Because of which, while I was sending this output to my mail, I was not able to kind of create a different subject line, mail body, HTML, or a text and all, right? But if I could, I have taken this code from GPT. Hey, I am getting this output. I want to create, three separate variables of it, right? You could see that subject line is already here, right? This is what we've just executed this, we've submitted this, form is submitted. Now you could see that your flow is running up. Okay, now let it run. And now what we should get now, we should get the output in the mail. Yeah, it's taking time because there's like a lot of data that it has to act upon, because it's a homepage generally have like a lot of information. Yeah, you could see that landing page URL is this. Let's wait for it to act upon it. And I think we have also covered why we have chosen, GPT-5, not the previous versions of GPT. If you try using, let's say, GPT 4.0 mini or 4.0, and if the size of the content that you're giving GPT is a lot, it might not work because the tokens required to generate the output using that input, it might not be, the model might not be capable to do it, right? So yeah, let's wait for it. In the meantime, let me just show the previous output, right? Okay. In the previous version, what we have done is we have send the text version of the output to our mail, right? And this is something we have got like 2 minutes ago, type 7:10. Right now we have run that page again. It's just taking a little bit of time to get the output from GPT. So yeah, let's wait for it. All right. Yes, yes, I think that'll be better because covering each node again would be difficult, and we can try. Okay, I think I might have to run this again. This is generally got caught up in the loop. Yeah, I'll use the web page with less content. I'll use this page. Yeah, I'll try running it now. Let's see. This is an active account. All right. What I can do is I can run a different version of it because this one is taking a lot of time. Let me reshare the different agent that we have doing this similar task. You could see that, right? This one. Yeah, let's give this. Yeah, this is not working. For some reason, it is taking a lot of time, but we'll try, the output with a different agent doing the same things. All right, let's wait for it. Yeah, it worked. Awesome. All right, now you could see that which mail ID. Okay, sorry. I think this mail was sent to someone named Nisha. I will use my mail ID to send it. The Yeah, I think I should get the mail now. Yeah, you could see that, right? Just received the mail, right? Completed the CRO audit of your jobs page, right? I have given that job page URL, which is right now in my copy. Yeah. So you could basically, create these agents. This is like very simple workflow that we have created in like our cohort, advanced AI program and our AIPM fellowship. We create like a lot of complex agents as well for all of you to understand. Now I can take questions if anyone has any questions. We will get to that, right? So I hope like you understood, you have a decent clarity in terms of like what AI agents are, what LLMs, what LLM do, and what is the difference between them. And we have, of course, a lot to cover in terms of like different frameworks like LangChain, LangFlow, Crew AI, and AutoGen as well in terms of depth of learning or creating, let's say, memory-based agent, RAG-based agents, tool-based agents, memory automations, right? So there are like a lot of extensive use cases across the industry that we could do. This is more to get started with, right? Awesome. So please share the prompt you used and the JSON code as well. Yes, we will share the detailed guide using which you can create your own agent and follow the exact. Yeah, Sarthak, will be very difficult to do it very slowly node by node. I can quickly explain what each node does, right? So this node is to help you collect the URL which you want to do the analysis upon, right? This node specifically, help us get the HTML, CSS, or the content of the web page. So you could look into this, right? So this is, we are using get method and we are passing simply this web page URL, and the output is something wherein we are getting the content of the web page, right? So this node is doing this. This specific AI agent node is working on your instructions, right? As in how you want to act upon. And this is where we are passing in the input node, right? The data that we have received from the previous node, right? So this AI agent is acting on your information and the data that we have passed, okay? And then once we have the output, we are using this node to structure it in a better way. And once the structure is there, then we are sending the output to any specific mailbox, right? So that's what this is doing, right? How to configure this? You can use Anita and I'll help you. I hope that is understood. Prompt and all, we will share the detailed guide to all the folks who will be sharing the feedback. Himanshu, can you please share the feedback form? Why we are not calling it as an AI automation instead of AI agent? This is an AI agent, Tanya, right? Otherwise, if you just do an see, you can call it an AI automation, which is using this AI agent if that's something which gives you comfortable around the terminologies. While the agenda was to help you build something which is going to help you get the output in terms of how can you improve certain pages, right?